Lurking within a tide pool or embedded in the soft sand of a beach are creatures armed with stingers, spines, or tentacles that are dangerous enough to send you to the hospital or worse. Today we are counting down the top 6 most terrifying creatures that you can encounter at the beach. And be sure to stick around for number 1, a predator whose venom is so powerful that just one drop can kill you. All right, let's dive in. Kicking things off at number 6, we start with the creature that is so small, yet so beautiful that it hardly seems dangerous at all, the cone snail. It hides inside of one of nature's most spectacular shells, but carries one of the most potent venoms found in the ocean. These deadly snails inhabit the waters and coral reefs found in Australia, Hawaii, and the Philippines. Most people would never guess something so dangerous could fit in the palm of your hand. But despite its size, the cone snail doesn't need speed or strength to kill. It hunts quietly within its shell, slowly crawling along the bottom, waiting for one perfect strike. Because tucked inside its mouth is a tiny hollow tooth that is shaped like a harpoon. If you were to get too close, or even worse, pick one up, that tooth fires like a dart, latching on and ejecting a venom that's been called nature's most potent chemical weapon. At first, the sting might feel like an ordinary pinprick, but soon after, you can experience numbness, dizziness, difficulty speaking, paralysis, and in the most severe cases, even death. That's right, some cone snail species, like the geographic cone, are capable of killing a full-grown human adult because there's no antivenom available anywhere. Once you're stung, all doctors can do is keep you breathing and wait, with hope that your body can outlast the venom's damage. So if you're walking along the beach in Hawaii and you spot a beautiful cone-shaped shell, especially if it's moving, don't touch it, don't pick it up, because sometimes the most colorful creatures on shore are also the deadliest. Speaking of colorful creatures, at number 5, we have an animal so strange and deceptively beautiful, it's often mistaken for a common jellyfish. This is the Portuguese manacle. You'll find them in warm ocean waters around the world, including United States coastlines of Florida, Gulf of Mexico, and the Carolinas. And they've even been spotted all the way out in Hawaii and even parts of Southern California. Portuguese manowar float across the surface of the ocean like a bright blue neon balloon, trailing along these purplish tentacles far underneath its body. Its name comes from its resemblance to the 18th century Portuguese warships that were at full sail. From above, it looks delicate, like a tiny toy sailboat, but hidden within those flowing tentacles that can hang as far as 30 feet below are thousands of tiny stinging cells, each one loaded with venom designed to paralyze and kill its food. Carried aimlessly by the wind and ocean currents, it can wash ashore without warning, sometimes by the thousands, turning what would normally be a peaceful beach into a sudden and landmine-filled nightmare. And if you're stung by one, the pain is unforgettably violent. Because it's not just a simple sting, it feels like being whipped with burning wire, followed by a deep electric pain that wraps around your limbs like barbed coils. Afterwards, you can experience muscle spasms, nausea, dizziness, and in some cases, even temporary paralysis can set in. And here's what many beachgoers fail to realize. You don't even need to be in the water to take a sting. That's because dead man-of-war tentacles lying on the sand can still deliver a fully venomous sting. One careless step is all it takes to find yourself writhing in pain. So check this out. This car I booked on Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. With Turo, you can rent any car you want from wherever you want. There's a community of local hosts ready to serve you all over the world. Skip the rental car counter at hundreds of airports in the United States and coordinate with your host right through the app. You can also arrange to have your ride dropped off wherever you're staying, which is super convenient. The booking process couldn't be smoother. You just open the app, search your destination, and scroll through an extraordinary selection of over 1,400 makes and models. From classics you've always wanted to drive to roomy SUVs, you'll find it all on Turo. I picked this Jeep because the crew and I are always on the move, and we needed something adventure ready. So whether you're planning a big trip like ours, or you just want to make your weekend feel special, Turo makes it easy, flexible, and fun. So click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to book your ride today. Trust me, with Turo, you'll never look at renting a car the same way again. Now, while most stings are not fatal, they are usually always traumatic, and in certain cases, allergic reactions to the sting around the face, chest, or neck can become life-threatening. And if that's not scary enough, there have even been cases of swimmers drowning from the sheer shock and pain of a single sting. So with a name like Portuguese man-o-war, beachgoers are right to steer clear of this blue, venom-filled sailor of the sea at all costs. Unfortunately, the next creature on the list is not so easy to spot or avoid. At number 4, we have a creature that stalks its prey and glides quietly and stealthily right up to the edge of the beach. I'm talking about the stingray. Most of the time, it's calm and even gentle and wants nothing to do with you. But if you step on one by accident, you'll learn very quickly why so many people fear this flat-bodied fish all over the world. In the United States, stingrays are most common along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts, also off the coastline of California. Stingrays spend much of their time resting and hiding at the sandy bottom, and sometimes only inches from the shore. Unfortunately, that's exactly where your bare feet tend to wander when you go to the beach. When startled or threatened, a stingray's response is sudden and explosive. It will try to flee while it lashes its tail upward, driving up its sharp serrated spine that unfortunately could land right into your foot. Now that spine is coated with a venom, but the real damage occurs from the puncture wound itself. It's capable of tearing through skin, muscle, and sometimes can even scrape against the bone. Victims often describe the pain as instant and overwhelming, like being stabbed with a white-hot piece of metal. Now keep in mind, when you're stung, you're likely still going to be a distance from shore, and that walk back with an open wound in salt water, it's gonna be excruciating. Not to mention, the pain from the initial sting doesn't fade quickly. The agony can last for hours, radiating far beyond the initial injury. And on top of that, stingray wounds carry the risk of infection because the spine often leaves behind fragments of contamination or bacteria. And in severe cases, deep injuries may require surgery to clean and repair the wound. And while fatalities from stingray are very rare, they do happen, especially if the spine strikes a major artery or vital organ. So while the stingray might be the painful master of camouflage in the sand, our next contender rules the art of disguise in the tide pools. At number 3, we come face to face with the most venomous fish in the world, the stonefish. And if you've never seen one before, that's not at all surprising. Stonefish are masters of camouflage, blending perfectly in rocks, coral, and areas just offshore. It's very rare to find them on the shorelines of the United States, but encounters have been recorded in parts of Hawaii. It's the travelers to Australia and Southeast Asia that face the highest risk. The danger of a stonefish is not in its bite, but actually the venomous spines along its back. Step on one and those spines shoot up, puncturing skin and muscle before releasing a cocktail of venom that is so potent it's been known to cause major injury, paralysis, and in extremely rare cases, even death. Take it from me, the stonefish sting is one of the worst stings I personally have ever experienced in my life. The pain is often described as the worst you can endure, burning, throbbing, and radiating far beyond the wound. It can spread so intensely and rapidly through a limb that some victims have begged their doctors to make an amputation. Without urgent medical treatment, the pain from a stonefish sting can last for hours or even days. The stonefish is a perfect example of how danger in the ocean doesn't always come from teeth or speed. Sometimes it's silent, armed with venomous spines that are hiding in plain sight. Coming in at number 2 is an ocean dweller that, if encountered while out on a casual swim, will turn your day into a fight for survival. This is the box jellyfish. Almost completely transparent, it's nearly invisible in the water, yet its sting can stop your heart within minutes. box jellyfish are most notorious in the waters of northern Australia, the Philippines, Thailand, and other parts of Southeast Asia. They silently drift near shore, with their cube-shaped bodies trailing up to 15 feet of tentacles lined with thousands of stinging cells. Each cell has a microscopic syringe which injects venom that is designed to paralyze their prey instantly. Unfortunately, this venom is also dangerous to humans. It will attack your heart, nervous system, and skin simultaneously. The pain is immediate and often overwhelming, with burning, searing, and what is often described as a feeling of an acid burn mixed with an electrical shock all at the same time. In severe stings, the shock and muscle spasms can make it impossible to swim, leading to drowning before you can even get yourself to the shore. And survivors are often left with whip-like scars across their skin that can be permanent or at least last for several years. Now, unfortunately, there is no foolproof way to avoid the box jellyfish in their native waters. All you can do is avoid the high-risk areas and stay out of the water during jellyfish season. Ooh, and now it's time for number 1. This is the worst creature that you can encounter in the entire world when visiting the beach. In the wild, animals with bright colors are a warning sign, and this creature has one of the clearest warnings you'll ever see. When threatened, its neon blue rings radiate and flash, sending a glowing message to stay away. And if you haven't guessed it already, the number 1 for this list is the blue ring octopus. This tiny creature lives in tide pools and shallow reefs found along the coasts of Australia, the Philippines, Indonesia, and other parts of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. At first glance, it looks harmless, often only the size of a golf ball with its golden body and a pattern of lightly colored rings. But when those rings illuminate, they're there to warn you that this little octopus carries venom powerful enough to kill up to 26 humans within minutes. That's right, even 1 tiny milligram of the venom from a blue ring octopus is enough to be fatal. And unlike the others on this list, this is the first creature where the real danger comes from a bite. An octopus doesn't have teeth like a fish or jaws like a shark. Instead, it has a sharp, parrot-like beak hidden in the center of its body. But it's not the tiny pinch from the bite that you should worry about. It's the octopus's saliva, which is loaded with a powerful neurotoxic venom that can quickly cause you to lose complete control of every muscle in your entire body. What's truly horrifying is that your mind stays alert through the entire process, even as your body shuts down and your breathing starts to slow. Surprisingly, death from a blue ring octopus bite is extremely rare, with only a handful of confirmed fatalities worldwide. Most victims recover once the toxins wear off, but it can take days in intensive care in the most state-of-the-art hospitals. So while it may look like a cool little Instagram model for your beach vacation, the blue ring octopus is one of the most venomous creatures in the entire ocean and the last creature you'd ever want to pick up while spending a day at the beach. Have you ever had a run-in with one of these creatures? Tell us your story in the comments. And stay alert out there, because sometimes the most deadly creatures aren't as big or as visible as you might think.